Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our weekly Fuel Arts, Art and Tech online webinar series. We're happy that have the possibility to of continue the series of interviews with the founders of our FUELARTS and TEZOS Accelerator startup graduates, so that the international art tech community can learn more about their growth and success. We've already made 4 webinars. Now it's our 5th one, and I'm happy that today we're presenting you the startup startup from Italy, AerariumChain, and their founders, co-founders, Danilo Rea and Maurizio Rea. Hi, Danilo.
Hi, Dennis. Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Yes, of course,
Hi.
our charming co-host, as always, Sonia Stubblebine, the head of content at FuelArts, project manager. She's been working with all the startups throughout this extensive program. So all the startups know her. And while, let's say, speaking about the batch, you could also mention Sonia and tell the audience about your experience of communicating with her. But I know that the startups
Good experience, very good experience communicating with Sonia.
Okay,
Happy to hear.
Thank you so much. So let me give a quick intro. So let's start with you, Danilo. So Danilo Rea obtained a master's degree in automation engineering back in 2005. So in the intersection of Web 1 and Web 2. So when it was only the beginning of the Web 2 era. So, and then he has worked as a technician and project manager for a multinational group in various countries until 2014. So, and that was the point that he co-founded, along with his brother Maurizio, the company called Werea. So it refers to your surname, and like a family business. I would call it company builder. So because Werea's first project was sweethive.com, and we know that you started AerariumChain as a vertical. It was launched and in 2018, and it quickly became your company's flagship product. So regarding Maurizio, what should I say? Proud brother of Danilo, also an experienced business development manager with a consolidated history of working in the IT and services industry. So yeah, hi guys, and also congratulations. We know that several days ago you launched the marketplace on AerariumChain, so a new product as a part of the results of the acceleration. Probably, yeah, we'll speak about it. So my first question is quite traditional one. So I've mentioned that you've started your business career as a family business back in 2014, when it was, let's say, the peak of Web 2. So what has brought you to Web 3? How you decided to, and also with the AerariumChain. So first you build a successful Web 2 product, and then now you're scaling it to Web 3. So what was the background of that move? We don't hear
okay.
you.
Sorry.
Here
I am. Here I am. Sorry for the mute. Thank you, Dennis, for the introduction and for the deep storytelling of our startup. Yeah, we started in 2014 when at the time, for example, there were no collaborative platforms, and when we were speaking about cloud services, cloud was something that was not was too strange, quite new for, we were speaking about even many other startups like us at the time were saying, but I have the server, I bought the server, so that is an investment. Why should I use this kind of services? And what has brought us to Web3 is that when we started working with AerariumChain, that is that has to that deals with making high quality through this kind of artworks. So entering in the deep field of art, working especially with museums, collections, and exhibitors, publishers. So when we enter in this world, we had we were dealing with tons of 3D files. That was one of the parts. And the other aspect was when we started using blockchain, we started using blockchain just for as an industrial application to notarize these 3D files. And when in 2020 we saw that NFTs were exploding like that, we said, okay, 3D files, we are using blockchain now, maybe we have to do something more. And that's the time when we had to enter into the Web3. When we said, okay, something is changing. It's not the old world already after a few years of Web2. And now it's something changing because the technologies are different. Everything is starting to be decentralized, and the people are interacting with assets at the same time where they make financial transactions. Everything is together. And so that's what has pushed us to go very, very fast into Web3. Very, very fast, let's say, with the several intermediate steps. So not everything has been so fast, but let's say that our transition into Web3 is now almost ready with the launch of the marketplace that we have just done in the last week.
Thank you. A small additional question. Did pandemic help that transition in some way or not? Because we all know that museums you're currently working with, I mean, museum as a business entity, as a cultural entity, they remained nearly helpless, and one of the most undefended spheres of business during pandemic. And now you're helping mostly museums with your product. So was a pandemic a game changer for you?
Yeah, that's an important point, because soon after, during pandemic, all museums were closed. So that was a main problem, as we can see later if we check the deck quickly. But the main problem we had was immediately the end of funding anymore. So the main source of funding, that was visitors paying the ticket to see the artworks, were missing completely from one day to another. And when we start dealing with NFTs in the sense of interacting with the public, the main problem they had is the service you are proposing us is very nice. It's cool. We need this kind of service because you help us to monitor the conservation status of the artwork, blah, blah, blah. That's crazy, but sorry, we have no more money. So we had to change completely the way we were offering our services then. And we had to push into Web3 also because we had to change our business model to say to museums, okay, we have a solutions that can help you to monitor the conservative status of your artwork. But first of all, we allow you to generate new value from the artworks you own. That means not only helping to pay our service, but also helping you to pay all the surroundings that you have to allow conservation of your artworks. And that was the moment where museums starting to say, that's it. That's what we want now, this moment. Also because, as you can imagine, museums are not so open to innovation. No, they make some experiments sometimes, spot like this, but they're not so open to innovation, especially when innovation is touching some points that they say, no, this is the part I take care of. No, this is mine. We are our expert. Don't touch it. Don't touch the artworks. Those are mine. When you enter in that phase, or if you don't find the right way to enter there, absolutely you find a closed door. And at the beginning, of course, we found the first museum were willing to work with us, and they did, but they were, let's say, COVID has accelerated, let's say, the process.
Thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for telling us about such a, how COVID had such a huge impact on your company. Also, would love to ask you now, like each of you, on small and short feedback of how do you find FUELARTS and TEZOS Accelerator? So what were your main takeaways? And so far, how was the experience altogether?
Maybe I can start. I have to say that, first of all, it has been a very great occasion for us to better know the TEZOS community and the solutions that are around. We started some years ago in the Algorand ecosystem. Now we are also, thanks to this program, we are really looking to a multi-chain approach. So it was very great to understand which are the possibilities, which are the difference, not only from the technical point of view, but also from different approach. And also was really interesting to be involved in an ecosystem that really is more committed in the art sector. I mean, of course, there are differences in each blockchain, but we found out in TEZOS that were very committed in the art sector. And this is very important for us. And of course, was very, very effective, as we were discussing also before, Dennis, before going on live, the real possibility to get in touch with the network of professionals in the art sector. That was thanks to FUELARTS, and this was really, really, I have to say, precious for us. I mean, the point is that you always need to feel, to not only to speak with, all the technology guys and so on. Every time you say, it's wonderful, okay, but since you have to go to the market, you need to speak with people that every day speak with museums, with the restorer, with the new artists and so on. And it's very important for us because in this way, you can really calibrate what you're doing regarding the needs. And of course, the other point for us was just to say that in this moment, we are still very focused in the European market. And it was really great for us to start speaking with someone on the other side of the ocean to start to understand which are the different. We do know that US is a wonderful market, and this has been, I think, the first step for us to better understand how to manage it for the next. I won't say the next years, probably the next month, but very, very valuable for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, one investor after the demo day asked us, better say, why do you have the majority of startups in that batch from Europe? Like 5 startups from Europe, one from Japan, and 4 from the US. So why Europe? Is it so experienced in art and tech? For instance, AerariumChain, I said, well, Italy is the motherland of the Renaissance. Italy, in some cases, the motherland of the museum, starting from the cabinets of curiosity from the Venetian Republic, and then they were spread through the rest of the Western Europe. So the startup who does care about museums should have been founded in Italy and only in Italy. So yeah, that's obvious. That's obvious. So yeah, let's do the test and check how your pitch deck and elevator pitch skills have changed, or have been improved since the since the demo day 3 weeks ago. So could you please repeat it? We'll just put your We'll just add your pitch to the screen, and me and Sonia will disappear for 6 minutes while you're pitching.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay. We are already introduced ourselves. So we work in the field of 3D scans, non-fungible tokens, and artificial intelligence applied to art preservation and fundraising for museums. We are startups that has sort of pivoted from a platform up to making one of its vertical becoming the main product. And this is how we are how our let's say stream of revenues is changing. So this product was generating just 65K in 2021, and now it's growing with the multipliers, and we have great forecast for this year. Working with more than 40 museums, having more than 3,000 artwork already in our database being monitored. But when we started in 2018, we started from the assumption that the artistic heritage, that's why, for example, Dennis was saying, you start from Italy, because in Italy we are surrounded by artistic heritage, by 100 years of history and the culture and art. And when we said this is huge, but at the same time it's valuable, we ask ourselves, but who has to manage this heritage? And the answer is quite easy: are museums and foundations. And to manage this heritage, these artworks, they have to take care about the two activities that are monitoring of this preservation status of these artworks and preservation activities, and both are based on the same budget. But during COVID, especially after COVID, budget has decreased, and costs, especially in the last years, are increasing dramatically. So we ask, how can we support preservation and generate a new value for museums at the same time? And the answer has been AerariumChain. That is a complete software as a service solution to support these actors like museums and foundations and art collectors in general in all activities from monitoring up to funding through NFTs. Everything starts from a scalable process in 3 steps. In the first step, we make a high definition 3D scan with a very fast process that we have detected using some hardware that allows high accuracy up to 0.05 millimeters. But all the main activities that are related to post-processing have, for example, been moved to the cloud to be very fast, to make a artwork 3D scan in just less than 3 minutes. We can do it, or the museum can do it itself by renting our kit or using the kit they already have. Because a service is a software as a service. When we have the first 3D scan of an artwork, what we do is we generate the fingerprint that we call the unique virtual image that we notarize in the blockchain. Once we have the fingerprint of the artwork, we can provide 2 kinds of services. Care, to help museums in all the monitoring and preservation activities, and fund, to help museums generating new value from their 3D assets generated. The care service, when we have the second 3D scan of the same artwork, we associate with the fingerprint to detect if there is any difference. And then we use AI algorithm to compare and to detect where there are the problems and which are the causes to intervene in due time. We also provide a full SaaS collection management tool to help them manage all the collection. And then we go to the fund service. So we have the fingerprint, we have the hyper-realistic 3D assets of the artwork, then we can provide the fund service. We generate what we call NFT micro, that are fractionalized NFTs related to the fingerprint that we have of the artwork. These can be, it works simply in this way. For example, if you have one artwork valued 1 million, we divide it into 1 million parts, valued €1 each. Only 20% is sellable. 5% go to the AerariumChain reserve fund, and 75% have to stick, to remain together with the artworks. When you buy at least one NFT micro of this artwork, you get the access to the hyper-realistic 3D file of the artwork that you can experience on our platforms or even on other platforms that we are connected. We are creating the biggest collection ever of high-quality 3D scans of unique artworks from museums worldwide. The total market cap is growing very fast. We already generated more than 60 million euros market cap of NFT micro last year, and we are going to generate more than 10 times this year, and we estimate 17 billion in 2026. The business model is quite easy. Museums can pay for the care service, so to monitor the artwork, or they can have the monitoring system for free if they issue an NFT micro, because when we issue an NFT micro, 5% of an NFT micro go to our AerariumChain reserve fund. Of this 5%, only around 15% can be sold yearly to generate revenues. Plus, we get a small fee for every transaction on the secondary market. With the same system, we collect our fee. We ensure 2% fee collected for the museums to generate recurrent revenues for them. We work with more than 40 collections already, and the number of collections is growing very fast. It's growing thanks to the collaboration we are making, and also thanks to our presence, the presence of our service during a fast-growing number of exhibitions where we meet many museums. We have many partners in our ecosystem, from tax and legal. The legal environment is changing very fast in Europe about crypto and NFT. From the tech side, R&D, and especially we are making special kind of partnerships together with the publishers. That is making us becoming also technical sponsor of the exhibition that allow us to meet many museums in each exhibition. Working with art preservation, we respect goals by design according to a report that says that when you work with culture and museums, you meet 11 or 17 sustainable development goals. We are reaching all these great results thanks to our team that is battle tested, as we say here, but is experienced and is done by people that are covering all the aspects of our complex stuff, from dealing with museums, understanding art, understanding the problem of artworks, up to the deep tech side of our job. We have closed a pre-seed round last year to collect 400K. January of 2022, we finalized the round, and now we are opening a new seed round to collect 3 million, so 15 million pre-money. We are looking, the use of funds will be finalized to speed up the market expansion in other European countries, US, and especially US, where we have many museums that we're already dealing with. Of course, there are many sides of our development stack that now had to be developed, especially on the side of detection artificial intelligence algorithms. We have done almost what we have achieved up to now with the leader marketing resources, and now we need also to invest in marketing. And there is now the last part of our job that is dealing better with legal and taxes aspects, because, for example, in Europe, they have just approved a MiCA regulation that will be a game changer in all the crypto sector. We have been featured by many media and by the Deloitte Art Report 2022. And what we suggest you, if you want to build with us the new way to take care of all art and culture. Happy to speak with all of you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Danilo. Thank you, Maurizio. So we refreshed your deck for our audience, and now let's proceed to discussing it. We should also prompt you, or better say, remind you that the next questions are subject to be replied in a Q&A short mode, like 1.5 to 2 minutes per reply. So our Sonia, please start.
Yeah, thank you, Dana. So probably the first question after the pitch would be actually, what is your main competitive advantage? You did touch it on your deck, but could you please just summarize shortly?
Yes, if I can say the two main advantages that we have. The first one is that I do believe we are the only one startup that now is dealing both with fundraising through NFT and with conservative issues for museums. This is really important because we are able in this moment to go to a museum and to be able to speak different languages, but not because they speak English or French or so on, but because in the same museum, there are people that are just there to take care of the artwork and they speak one language, and we can provide them support. And there is someone else that has to deal with the fact that they need money to pay everything. So this is the main advantage. It is, I think, the only project today available that is able to have these two souls. The other aspect, I think, is now that we are the only one in the market to have with such a big data set of high 3D qualities, high 3D files. That is very important, in particular for the development of the AI algorithms. So this is really something that we are, for the quality of the artworks that we have and the quality of the models is really a game changer. I mean, is really effective to be able, and we are able to develop some kind of algorithm that probably, if you start with the, with the fake models, is not as easy as it seems.
Cool. So maybe we still have time for a short presentation of your marketplace. If you could share the screen. Oh, yeah. Just several comments on when a user joining how it works.
Sorry, I mute my mic. Here it is. Yeah, this is of course, I'm opening the desktop view from here. And this is what you can see when you access our landing page. So you can experience our artworks from the collection. And let's try to open very simply one of these artwork, for example, this one. Whenever you enter in the artwork, what you can see is the preview of the artwork with the description, the information, a video describing it. This artwork has been minted on Algorand, so you can see the fingerprint, the UVI ID, and the ID of the NFT micro that has been issued with the transaction of the top collectors and the chronology of the transaction. Going more in detail, what is expectation, of course, is to see this 3D file. As you can see, a single NFT micro is priced just one. It has a very democratic price that is in USDC in this moment. We have 20,000 available in this moment, and the type of contract we have here is only experience right. That means you do not get while buying an NFT micro the ownership of the artwork, but what you will get is the experience of the 3D files, as I will show you. We are in market stage that is primary market. That means the museums is selling NFT micro. So the money you are going to give are going directly, for example, 1.3 USDC to the museum. Now we are transferring, we are paying, and we are transferring the NFT micro from the wallet of the museum into our wallet. Museums is receiving the USDC. Once we have the transaction has finished, let's see how long it takes. Okay, quite easy. Okay, now the blockchain we are using together with also Tezos is very fast blockchain. So the transaction can be finalized in a few seconds, paying a very low transaction. Just to explain here, I have paid with the balance in my wallet, and the artwork has been added into my collection. And whenever I have at least one NFT micro, I have access to the 3D file of the artwork in a quality that is proportional to the number of NFT micro I own. Just in this case, there is a promo. Like up to June 15, we are providing the HD quality to everyone. So whenever I have access to the 3D file of this artwork, I can see all the details of the artwork, experiencing the artwork in a quality and with the level of detail that is not accessible on any other platforms. Just to tell you, this is an artwork of 400 years ago, and this is the first time we have a 3D scan of this artwork, and this is the first time we can access to this detail to the artwork itself. What we are going to do is also, since we make several 3D scans of the same artwork during the time, is to allow the user to check the differences of the conservation status of this artwork directly from their wallet.
Cool. Looks fantastic, and it really works, and it really takes a short period of time and very affordable.
Absolutely. I must say that the quality of the image is just incredible, especially when you zoomed in. That was incredible, seeing all the details. That's absolutely fascinating.
Oh, yes. Alice, we do agree with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Anna shows the AerariumChain.com, and then you can go straight to the website. So let's proceed to Q&A, or you'd like to show some other features, or you'd like the audience to explore the other features themselves?
I think let me show, maybe it will be useful to explain you some other feature for the next. Of course, I can have access to my collection whenever I purchase. I can access my collection, of course, from here. The wallet is connected, so our marketplace help you to explore your collection, but at the same time you can do it from your wallet. That's the power of Web3. But at the same time, one feature that we think very nice is that, let's say that the blockchain world has to be simplified in order to become accessible to everyone. Okay, so we have done very easy to everyone to create their wallet streamless when the login and the wallet is connected directly with their email. And what happens, especially with this blockchain, the blockchain, for example, that has been released in the first step, that is, in this case, is Algorand. We have decided to use, for example, the stablecoin that are USDC, but at the same time, you have to feed the transaction with the native crypto of the blockchain. So we have created a sort of what we call voucher to simplify the purchases for everyone that wants to try and is not so familiar with the blockchain. So, for example, charging the wallet, charging more than one crypto, one coin on the same wallet, and so on. So with a single step, everyone can be ready to start, even spending very small, the cost of a beer, let's say, just to start. Also solving the problem of most of the platform that sometimes they require some checks that are, for example, sometimes more than 50 euros just to buy some cryptos. And what we have done is to simplify also with our friend is the fact that whenever you buy a gift, you can also move to any friend of you to let them experience also artworks together at the same time. So, of course, we also invite everybody to test and invite his friend, because they will get everyone, when your friend will accept, they will get a voucher to redeem 5 NFT micro, and who is inviting will also be price of a 5 NFT micro voucher every time each of their friend will accept their invitation. So
Great.
I would like to stop there now, but these are the main features that are helping us now to speed up the spreading of usage of our marketplace.
Great.
If I may say, then it's just one thing that is very important for me. When you pay with the USDC, all the money you pay goes to the museum. And when you get free NFT micros, you get them from our reserve. So the point for us really is to provide a system where museums are gaining money. They are not spending anything, and this is very important. And I do believe that just with Web3, you can build up something like that. Otherwise, it would be impossible with the Web2 approach.
You're right. You're right. I agree entirely with your with your statement, Maurizio. And also, I should say from my side that I consider that to be one of the best, let's say, small presents for that amount of money I've ever seen. So you just a gift card, and a person can experience museum and be attached to art and improve the level of her social, let's say, social activity and art education, and also to obtain a real asset, a 3D asset. Cool. So yeah, let's move with our short Q&A forward. Looking at your startup, how do you see it scaling? I mean, you've started with museums.
Yeah, let's say the main problem.
30,000, a bit more than 30,000 pure art museums in the world. But are museums the final, let's say, the final destination of yours, or how you like to scale AerariumChain?
Let's say that when we started, we said, okay, let's go to where they have most artwork, because we have to feed our library with them and all the process with many 3D scan every time, so under monitoring. That's why we started from museums, because when you work with one museum, you can get hundreds of artworks all together at the same time in the same place. Museums have a problem, is that they're physical located, so we need to make 3D scan in several places around the globe. And this problem, let's say, we have solved into two ways. One is together with partnership. We are building partnership with the players that are already operating with museums worldwide, and that are, for example, already located where they serve several museums. And we have created a kit that museums can buy very easily without having to do much training, not just to make a 3D scan and pass to the next one without any big problem. Or we have said to museum, the service is a full SaaS, so just upload your 3D file if you already have, and we can provide the service for you. But they are not the only destination of our service, because what we are helping artwork collectors in general. That means foundations, of course, but also private owners that they own sometimes their own collection, sometimes small, sometimes bigger. So we are finding a solution to make everything easy for everyone to use our service. Because preserving art, it's a problem that is quite common to everybody that has some artwork, even at home, for example.
Thank you. Yeah, that's totally reasonable. Sonia?
Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, so the next question would probably be dedicated to your path as entrepreneurs. So what mistakes did you make on a path of building AerariumChain?
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, we were thinking. Here we are.
yeah.
Okay, we made a lot of mistakes, and of course, and we are here because we made so many mistakes, but we have been quite lucky that the mistakes we have done were not such maybe big mistakes, or we didn't continue too much repeating the same. But the main one are, especially when we started with some ideas. No, we made the 3 scans, how we can make the 3 scans for this purpose, for example. But when we went to museums, we understood that their problems were different to those we were expecting. Of course, the good stuff has been reducing the number of errors, has been to put people into the team that are already dealing in this field of restoration, artwork preservation, and so on, because that has helped us to cut a lot of possibilities before going to museums. But then we had just working with the final customer, we understood which were the real pain they had, which were the real problems we had to focus on to get some result. Another error has been sometimes to think, okay, we can find this player will help us to arrive everywhere. In our field, it doesn't work like this. Our field is done by different, like, small areas. There is nobody that can go crossover between different areas because are small worlds, and there is nobody that can go across these small worlds. So what we have, understanding this, we could find a way to find a strategy to become as the vector, the solution to go across these small crosswords. Okay, because the problem of preserving artwork is a problem of everyone. That is the main problem. And so let's say that the key of detecting problems, solving the problems, and the errors we could make, it has always been, let's see what the market really wants. From the side of museums and from the side now with the launch of the marketplace, we are understanding from our visitors, our customers, people are buying what they really want, what are the features that they really like, the feature that they didn't like. When we started in beta 3 months ago, we received hundreds of requests from the beta users we were not expecting at all. So we had to work 3 months before releasing to repair, adjusting, and so on, before at least going live. But now that we are going live, it's another story, it's another target, it's another world, and no crypto-friendly people. So completely different. And they are buying a T-Micro for completely different reason than people accessing in beta because they are crypto fans. No? And that's a new story. Now we have to learn from them and understanding where we did errors and what will be good and what we will bad. No? What has not to be repeated again.
Cool. So thank you. And of course, throughout your way, which was full of success and several mistakes, you should have been inspired by someone's entrepreneur experience. So who are the entrepreneurs who inspire you?
I have to say this is something sometimes me and Danilo we speak about. I mean, we have met a lot of entrepreneurs in these years from different sectors. Any story is really different, and in this moment probably it's hard to say which one is more inspiring for us and so on. Usually when you ask something like that to people, they say the big names, the people that succeeded in making their company, the biggest one, Musk, Steve Jobs, and so on. I have to say that probably in our experience, we met a lot of small entrepreneurs in Europe, in Italy, but also abroad in Germany, in UK. And we find out people that probably are not so famous, are not so lucky because they didn't get the project that make you rich in a few years, but are people that they are really fighting every day to make the best for their company, for the people, for their team. They are able to approach every time new problems and so on. So I think that these kind of entrepreneurs are the ones that are more inspiring for us, because it's not when we do believe that the point is not when you are interesting, when you succeed. You are interesting whether you keep fighting every day. And this is something that we really appreciate. And probably I can name some of them, but nobody will know them. So, but these are the real people that we are inspiring us every day in everything that we are doing.
Actually, one of the top entrepreneurs in your sphere in arts and I mean, with the Italian region was Cosimo de' Medici. I mean, and the Medici family. So probably they should be your first example. They did a lot for creating the art sphere, the art ecosystem as we know now.
Yeah, but let's say that they sometimes were solving problems in some way that you cannot do now. So they were more cruel than any entrepreneur can be nowadays. So let's say
you can try.
You can try, maybe. You can take inspiration. Yeah, but that's true what you say. Yeah, we have a long history. Let's say also history is a long path of area of power, of interest. What was powerful 200 years ago now is not considering any more powerful. But history is like this. Things are changing from an area to the other one. But we should learn also, as we do with art. The nice stuff of art is that it connects art with the history, with the past, with the stories of people. And that's a good suggestion, what you're saying. Why we make reference to the entrepreneurs of today, but we should also look to the entrepreneurs of the past.
Yeah, for instance, just a quick remark, Medici are known for introducing archaeological discoveries on the territory of Italy. So if we want to transpond them to our modern life and let's say contemporary entrepreneurship practice, that could mean, for instance, that if you want to be successful in Web3, you have to dig out Web 1 and Web 2 and to discover what's that. You have to make your own archaeological discovery to find more about your predecessors. With respect to them, you should move forward only in that case. So that's what Medici could teach us.
I agree.
Yeah, that was my just rapid thought. Sonia, yep.
Right. Also, already in the end of this webinar, would love to ask you more about your fundraising experience. Like, if somebody is listening to us right now from young startups, startup founders, what tips would you give them, based on your experience here?
How do you think? I have to say that probably the most part of our experience has been, I can make it very short, saying that making fundraising is a hard job. It takes, I have to say, probably most part of my time and Danilo's time. So it's not something that you do aside your business. It becomes your main business if you are the founder of a company. And second point is that means a lot of many months of hard job, many months. And then when you get the first one, when you're able to get at least the first one that want to proceed, everything became really, really fast. and you have to be really ready to run. Probably you were thinking that you were running before, but you were not running at all. So the point is that really you need to stay really focused, to work a lot, never to complain if there is a problem, but try always to fight for each contact, to be the best in each one. Because when you find the one that say, I can feel that your idea is interesting for me, then you will start running to close as soon as possible, because this is the time that you have to close. But I really is something that I hope that everyone, also young entrepreneurs, have to keep in mind, that it takes a lot of time and you have to run a lot. This is the point.
Thank you. Has Danilo something to add, or we could proceed to our final question? Actually, we have some time, so we have not one but two questions. So my one will be we've seen the slide with your team, and we saw a great number of persons, and they are all well structured, and it's always good when you have a lot of persons who know what to do. But what's the decision-making process in your startup? Because we've seen 3 persons with the same surname, Rea. So how do you manage that? What's the hierarchy of decision-making? I'm very curious.
Yeah, Giorgio is another brother. He had the idea of, it was outside the company. Me and Maurizio were already in the company for Sweet Hive project. And we started AerariumChain because as an archaeologist with also a PhD in Sorbonne University, he had the idea, why don't we do the same? We apply technology into their field. That's why he's in now as a project leader. And of course, everything starting from him. But at the beginning, me and Maurizio were saying, no, in art, there is in culture, there is no way to make business. So we are here thanks to him. Now they say, let's try, let's see. But you're right. Then is the decision process is quite complex sometimes, also because we have to take many decisions together every day. Okay, involving many aspects of the business but let's start from the main process of taking activities. What we do normally is we detect the need, okay, what we should do, or the problem. From this problem, we take some decision, and we break the decision into a lean process. So we break down into simple sub-process, and we decide, okay, for this one, we start from designing the user experience, for example. And from that one, we create a process that is lean, in the meaning that we can reach a result in a short timing, and we can experiment it, try it immediately to see if we are going the right path or not. Of course, when we deal with the product, it's one process, decision process. But when you have to deal with, for example, strategy, that's completely different. You cannot share. Sometimes the kind of decision, it's not easy to take with many people. Okay, and that's a completely different process. And maybe also that strategy sometimes is the less structured process that we have. Okay, but there are many theories and so on. But in the reality of a small startup, sometimes is okay. For this, we have to take a decision. Let's keep which of us is more confident in this field, and let's decide 3-4 people each other which direction to take.
Thank you. Yeah, that was very interesting to know.
Thank you for sharing that, Danilo. Also, like, to finalize this webinar, like, we are asking our traditional question about the tips. So probably would love to hear from both of you the tips for the young startup founders who are just starting their path and they want to build something great. So what, both of you would love to recommend for them?
Probably this question could take some days, more than a few minutes. But if I have to say something, I would say, first of all, that for us was very important to always check with the market if the idea is correct or not. So the only one that decided in the end, that Danilo spoke, of course, of the decision making in our company, but in the end, the one that decided if the idea is good or not is the market. And so every time that you can, also was very important for us to build before writing the first line of code of AerariumChain. We spent a lot of time in creating our network. So people that where we were discussing, if we do like this, you like it or not, it is useful to you, you will be able to pay for this one, you should pay or not, how much you think. This is very important. So the market is the one that leads all our strategy and idea. Otherwise, you spend a lot of time, but you are not creating value at all. If I have to say, the other one is probably something very so common. I'm saying something that is not very new, but we were speaking before about mistakes. I think that if you are an innovator, you have to make a lot of mistakes because you're thinking of something that is new. So the main question is if there was nothing like that before, why we need that? Okay, so the point is that you need to make a lot of mistakes to check if they are right or not. And so I think the most important part is that you do not need to be afraid to make mistakes. You need to push, you need to try. If there is nobody that is able or committed in trying it again, there will be no innovation at all. So this is the only way we have learned to make an innovation. I don't know if Danilo want to join, but I think for me, the most two things I would like to share are this one.
Thank you, Maurizio.
Yeah, maybe I will just like something that is quite unpopular maybe in this moment, that is that funding is king. What we have learned from the Sweet Hive experience that now Dan has driven us to pivot is that after building something and trying to make development together with growth at the same time without funding, like just growing without funding, and then you experience after some time that even if you were doing something good, and your competitors started with a lot of fundings, then who got more fundings before will win. So that's part of the story of the startup that is quite unpopular now, because now everybody are closing their cash, there is no more funding, and let's see what will give a result in short term. My point of view is, even if I can give a suggestion to other new entrepreneurs that want to start, don't listen to who's doing build and then you will see more results. No, it doesn't work like that, this kind of job. Cash is the king, funding is the king. If you have funding, you can focus on building your business and without having to waste most of your time in funding, in following people has to pay you, for example. No, a customer has to pay you, or find new small customer, or just taking orders that are not so important for you. You're just building to make cash. So that makes you waste a lot of time. So what I suggest to everybody, whenever I say come later, build this and come later, my suggestion for my experience is no, continue like that, finding fundings. When you have fundings, you build more. And of course, the show must go on. We all have to find ways. Of course, also fighting and so on will help us to build the new stuff, to go to investors, to the market, having new things. But when what we have experienced that with the first round we have done, the way we could work has completely, dramatically changed now with the first pre-seed round. And that's the way can do something new when you build any startup. That's my point of view. Maybe other experience can be different. Maybe you can be lucky building something that is well done. You get a lot of money without doing anything, just for the product. But there are, I think, very small stories about that. All the other stories are about good entrepreneurs that were good fundraisers with good ideas, and they could succeed. First of all, they could succeed in fundraising. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you, Danilo. That was as emotional as true. So that was, I mean, you shared a part of your personal experience, and it's always catchy, and it's always it's always reliable. It sounds reliable, and it is true. Yes, because funding is king, and cash is king of funding. So, dear startups, yeah, ask for cash from the very beginning. But in order to receive cash, you have to show that you will generate cash in the very end. So, bouncing on these two things.
Yeah, that's the story. Of course, you have to play with the imbalance. But don't stop. Don't stop in this path.
Sure. We are reminding our audience the website of AerariumChain. So thank you so much, Maurizio. Thank you so much, Danilo, for joining us today, and thank you for taking part for your application to the FUELARTS and TEZOS acceleration. And the show goes on. So good luck, and see you in Web3.
Thank you. See you soon. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Sonia. See you soon.
Yes. Bye. And
Thank you. Bye.
I'm addressing to our audience. We're meeting on Thursday, in 2 days, with M1X Labs. The same 11 a.m. Miami or New York time. Bye.
Absolutely. See you. Bye.
Bye.